everybody, I've just been working on my skills a little bit lately. What about you? Do you have a favorite game, sport, or activity that you like to do? For me, it's basketball. But my daughter, she loves to play soccer. And in fact, our problem today has to do with her soccer game. So before we get too far into the problem, I want to talk about how we might measure time and how that works. Because yesterday, which is the previous day, right, my daughter played in a soccer game, and she's about to have another game in about a week. But in 2 weeks, she has this really big game that she is looking forward to when she's going to play against one of her best friends. So she's really been practicing and working hard. But she wants to know how many days it is until that game. And I said, well, it's 2 weeks. But she was like, hey, how many days is that though? And so can you help her to figure out how many days that's going to be? I bet you can. So let's do a quick review. How might we show, this time and measure time? One of the tools that we have is a calendar. And calendars are organized in different ways depending on what calendar you're looking at. But one of the main calendars we often see is one that will have a whole week at a time, and then it's often by a month. And so it'll have the whole month there listed, and it'll go, January 1st through January 31st. And it'll all be there nice and organized so we can see visually how that's represented and how many days it might be until something. And you may have a special holiday or your birthday that you're trying to figure out, when is that going to be? And so you can use calendars to kind of help you visually see that. And so let's get back to our problem today. And we said that the big game that's about to happen is taking place in 2 weeks. Well, I know that 1 week is how many days? Well, let's review those days of the week really quick. Let's start with Sunday. You can say it along with me. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. There's 7 days in 1 week, but this game is 2 weeks away. So we have to not only do 7 days, we have to add on an additional 7 days because it's 2 weeks. So how might we add that? There's different ways we could solve this problem. One is you could draw out lines for each day, right? And just count them all up and see how many it's going to be. Another way is you might start at 7 because I know, 1 week is 7 days. I have to add on the second week, which is 7 more days. So count on from 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 4 more. 10 and 4 is 14 days. So it's going to be 14 days until that big game occurs. And she is so excited. Now, calendars are a tool to measure time, but they're not the only tool to measure time, right? How about clocks? Clocks are another way that we use to measure time. We use different hours and minutes, and throughout the day, we might see different things like in the morning and in the evening, or different activities might take place at different times. And that's what I want you to help me with, is help me sort out some activities that we're going to show. Would they happen in the morning, the afternoon, or in the evening? And you know what I need? I need a board to help me out. Board? There we go, now we're ready. Okay, so let's look at these times that we have on our board here. We have 8 o'clock a.m., we have 12 o'clock p.m., and 8 o'clock p.m. Okay, first off, what are these AM, PM things representing, right? I know 8 o'clock, but AM means in the morning. It's before noon, okay? PM is the afternoon and then into the evening and night. So if we're talking about 8 o'clock AM, that's going to be in the morning time. So let's go through our activities and see where these would best fit, and you can help me categorize them. So our first one is waking up. Right? Waking up first thing in the day. What time is that going to be? Well, it's in the morning, so I know it's got to be an AM time. So 8 o'clock AM, that's probably a good time to wake up, maybe even a little earlier. The school may start at, a little earlier, so it might have to be 7 o'clock AM, but sometime in that morning. Another activity, a bedtime story. What's a good time for a bedtime story? Well, I know that's going to be towards the end of the day, so it's going to be a PM because it's in the afternoon, and probably more like 8 o'clock PM. That's getting close to bed there. And lunch, Lunch, now that's gonna happen maybe in the middle of the day, so something around 12 o'clock p.m. Now there's all kinds of activities that we could do with this, and you could do this too. Think of an activity. What time would it go in? And you can play along right at home, come up with different categories and activities, and do that with your friends and family. Thanks for joining me today, and we'll be back again real soon.